In medieval India, the royal courts buzzed with foreign dignitaries. Back then, India was a trading hub, a military power with huge standing armies. So Indian friendship was a strategic goal. Today, centuries later, we are witnessing a revival of sorts. A global realignment is underway and India finds itself at the center of it. New Delhi is preparing for a busy summer, a summer of diplomacy. It started with a Quad summit in the month of March. It was the first head of state level meeting. For India, it was also a new chapter. Remember, New Delhi is a non-aligned power. It has stayed away from political alliances. The Quad is the closest that India has come to joining one. So, has India abandoned the commitment to neutrality? Well, far from it. The Quad is an exercise in deterrence. It does not seek power in the Indo-Pacific. It just wants China to follow the rules. There's a difference. And as the only Quad member that shares a border with China, the stakes are higher for India. But so are the opportunities. The West sees India as a bulwark against China's rise, and for a change, they're right. In the next few years, New Delhi could become one of the most powerful capitals in the world. Today, India hosted top officials from the US and Russia. Not many countries in the world can do that. But New Delhi is neutral turf. It has excellent ties with both Moscow and Washington. Lavrov has left. Kerry will leave in a few days, but India's summer of diplomacy is not quite over. Later this month, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson will be paying a visit. He will arrive as Britain's first post-Brexit Prime Minister. And his intentions are clear. The UK is thinking beyond Europe. It wants in on the Indo-Pacific, and India fits the bill. A massive trading machine with strong regional influence. That's how the UK sees India. So here's a quick roundup of who has visited India. First, the Pentagon chief, Lloyd Austin. Then Russia's top diplomat, Sergei Lavrov. US climate envoy, John Kerry. And capping the summer will be Boris Johnson. What does this train of foreign leaders symbolize? India's rise, its position of preeminence across the board. Just think about the scope. From Delhi, the democratic axis can keep a check on China. They can keenly monitor the Afghan peace process. And at the same time, keep an eye on Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. The bottom line is this: it pays to be a stable and prospering democracy. Who will the world trust to guard the peace in Afghanistan when it happens? A country that is one bad week away from a military coup, or the largest democracy in the world? It's a no-brainer. The world needs New Delhi to ensure everlasting peace in Afghanistan. But like all partnerships, this too is a two-way street. India too needs world powers in its corner, especially in defense. Russia's ties with India were forged over time. It is something that America will have to contend with. Take the S-400 missile defense system, for instance. Later this year, India will take delivery of the Russian missiles. And this will put New Delhi in America's CAATSA bracket. CAATSA stands for Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. It's a law using which the US can sanction countries that buy arms from Russia. So in theory, the US could sanction India once the Russian missiles arrive. But will America actually do so? This is an entirely different question. Joe Biden has certain foreign policy pet peeves: climate change, the Iran nuclear deal, and the Indo-Pacific. And he cannot achieve any of these without Indian support. So there is a growing caucus in Washington that wants a sanctions waiver for India. The CAATSA is supposed to target America's adversaries. Is that really how Joe Biden wants to categorize India? As an adversary? That's highly unlikely. The world's interests are converging with India's. And these are exciting times in New Delhi's South Bloc. World powers are courting the Indian leadership, climate, peace, defense, you name it, and they want New Delhi on board. If India plays its cards right, the summer of diplomacy could mark the beginning of Pax Indica. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.